What is the most disrespectful shit someone has done to you? Was working at a Dairy Queen when I was 16. It was a hot summer day and a lady came in and dumped her melted blizzard upside down on my arm/hand. In the process it covered my register, the wall and the floor. She started yelling about how her ice cream melted, and how I need to make her a new one. She was served in the drive-thru. I was working the front counter inside. My co-worker said she left over 20 minutes ago. I still had to make her a new one and give her a refund. That's akin to spitting on someone, which is considered assault. Not to mention vandalism of the register. A good manager would have had your back and barred her from returning. Edit, Battery. Till. Anyway, I wasn't suggesting legal action, just that the manager could have stepped up. Good managers are rare in retail. That's because good managers end up moving out of retail. It was a first day of one of my college courses and we were telling everyone our names. I said mine and the professor said my husband wanted to name our son that, but I didn't want him to get made fun of. Edit, my name is Angus. I was making out with a girl sometime after midnight in a bar on Nye. First time I ever managed to do so with someone I just met at nearly age 24. She pulls away for a second, looks at me and says, "What am I doing? I'm drunk and you're ugly." Edit, thanks for the compassion everyone. This statement going through my head was gym fuel for many years afterwards. And she actually didn't want to stop making out with me, and being drunk myself with minimal self-esteem, I figured the best revenge was to get her to continue kissing an ugly dude. I am on the shorter side, was having a similar experience with a heavier girl one evening. Her friend, of the same stature, grabbed her away and said loudly, "You know the rules. We don't hook up with short guys." So I responded, "That's okay, I don't hook up with fat girls." Honestly, I thought she was a fun and pretty girl, and if she hadn't started to walk away when her friend came by, I'd have had no issue. But boy oh boy, apparently mentioning their physical appearance was like dropping an atomic bomb, as opposed to mine. I have a similar story. Was talking with some girls we just met, sitting at a table. I was hitting it off with one. She was a little on the thick side, but cute. I asked her if she'd go for a beer with me sometime. She had a shit-eating smirk and said, "Ooh, sorry, you're too short, honey." I got up and walked away. About 5 meters later she taps me on the shoulder and says, "Oh my god, you're not too short, sweetie, give me your phone." I just said, "Ooh, sorry honey, you're too fat." In her exact gone. The look on her face was priceless. But looking back, it was kinda mean. I had something similar. Random drunk girl started making out with me. After a bit she stopped, looked at me confusedly, and said, "Where's my boyfriend?" Boyfriend was passed out in the corner of the bar. It didn't hurt like yours, but it was funny. My abusive first girlfriend said to me, "I'm glad for your mama because she doesn't have to be around you anymore." Literally the same night I confided in her that my mom ran out on me and I hadn't seen or heard from my mom in years. I take my lunch break in my car. Always have for the last 10 years at my office. I park in a peaceful, quiet area overlooking a duck pond. I open the sunroof and get some fresh air and listen to the NPR lunchtime program with current/local events, and it's a really nice getaway from the monotony of office life. Apparently, a co-worker who historically has had beef with me started telling people I was doing marijuana on my lunch breaks, and that's why I never ate in the break room. She compiled a lengthy list of my behaviors that would mimic drug use. This list included things like being spaced out, being more talkative some days than others, and often being tired, also signs of being an overworked adult. She also started keeping a folder of extremely petty mistakes I had made to prove I was high at work. These mistakes were such minor oversights, They affected no one at all. She took this proof to not only our boss, but also to the physicians who own and run our office. She presented it as concern for my well-being, but if she were truly concerned about me, wouldn't she bring it up with me first? Luckily all my bosses knew my work is and was 100% at all times and didn't think twice about it. I didn't even know about any of this going down until she was fired a year later, for unrelated reasons. Velp, joke's on you Ashley, I'm the MF boss now and I actually do marijuana daily, but I wait until after hours because I take pride in my work. A kid at school when I was younger who put out his cigarette out on my face. Still got the burn scar. Edit. A lot of people been asking about the repercussions and suing him for damages. I was really young back then, around 14. And the rules around bullying wasn't set to stone. They left it off as kids being kids even though I had serious burn marks on my face. We filed a complaint, went to the police and sued him. In the end the lawsuit returned us with something minor cause he was too young. So he did get some tasks he needed to fulfill by justice, it wasn't enough for me. Hope that clears the questions people had. Former boss owed me some back pay for a legit reason. My wife went into hospital for a month because of a complicated pregnancy, baby was C-section and then had to be NICU. The day of the C-section, boss said he wasn't going to pay me anything. Edit for all those asking, yes of course I put in a complaint with the Ontario Ministry of Labour. Unfortunately if an employer doesn't pay even after an order, it's put to collections. If the person is shitty enough like this dude was they just dodge those collections too. I'm sure it'll catch up with him eventually, but at this point he's been run out of his home city. Locked my new bike up outside a supermarket and ducked inside to get some yogurt because it was Friday night and that's how I de-stress after a long week. Self-checkout line was busier than expected but I was in and out in about 10 to 15 minutes. Didn't want to leave it for too long because someone had pinched the seat from outside my house a couple of weeks earlier. From a short distance I could see my bike was facing the opposite way I'd left it and felt a little confused. I got closer and saw my U-lock looking like a pretzel. It seemed like someone had tried to wrench off my lock, failed and then just picked up my bike and tried to use it as leverage to pop the thing off, failed again, but succeeded in completely fucking the entire aluminium frame, total write-off, could not be fixed. I just moved out of my parents' place into a new city. Not all bad, I had a friend from college I reacquainted with. He even introduced me to a really cute girl that I was becoming rather fond of. After a few months, he had ascended to a really solid best friend status, and signs were looking good between she and I. Told my friend I was thinking of asking her out, and he told me to go for it, she'd definitely be down for it. He was so excited to hear it, and really kicked my self-esteem into place. Going great. So, I invite them all to celebrate my birthday at a pub, hopefully I'll work up the courage to ask this girl out, too. Having my friend's recent encouragement really did do a lot of favors for my confidence and comfort around the idea. I arrive at the pub. I'm 10 minutes late, but no panicked texts, so I assume I'm okay. Well, they aren't there either. Guess we're all running late. I order a drink, and get comfortable. Another 20 minutes passes. I decide to give my friend a call. He doesn't pick up. Send a text. No response? After about an hour, I'm now calling the girl, asking if she's coming. No pickup. Send a text. No response? I'm on drink number 3 in a mostly empty pub on a Tuesday night, my only company a gathering of old dudes and sad-looking blue collars clearly in no mood to socialize. I'm watching the basketball game despite not liking basketball at all. Try whipping up a conversation with the bartender of all sad things, he's not really interested and quickly cuts me off to go do literally anything else. After 2 hours of waiting, I give a last couple calls to my friend, desperately hoping he picks up. Nope. I call the girl? Nothing. I've accrued a $30 bar tab and am in no shape to safely drive home, so I decide to just sit it out for a bit, but then just feel myself getting sadder, more lonely, looking probably a lot like the blue-collar sacks occupying the stools beside me, and I'm the unfortunate soul closest to the window, in clear miserable view of all the happy meandering couples and groups of giddily chirping friends passing by on the sidewalk. My original plan was to just sober up after a couple hours, but that fell through. I couldn't stand being in there, and after one last call after 4 hours of waiting for them to come to my birthday, I just walked home. Took about an hour, but the fresh air and exercise at least made me feel less mopey and downtrodden. There could always be another day, another attempt. Maybe they had a really good reason, maybe an emergency, maybe something that puts things in perspective. I get home and my friend finally texts me back. Oh, hey? Yeah, sorry. I don't wait for the fuel up text, I immediately call him asking him what's up. Okay, so I went to go pick up that girl, and I decided I would ask her out. Dude, you gotta understand, she was like into it immediately. You won't believe it, we've actually been fucking for the last 4 hours non-stop. Happy birthday to me, happy birth THDD day, to MME. I'm sure others have had it way worse, but when I was about 17, I was assembling a ride on train track, about 2 feet between rails, for an indoor amusement park when the owner of the company came in. He decided to help me. I don't know why. I didn't ask for help and didn't need help. He helped me put a couple track segments together and decided that was enough work for him, so he got up off the floor and wiped his greasy, dusty hands off on my jeans, with my leg in them. I was seriously incensed. After delaying my flight, rerouting it in the middle of my flight, letting us off the plane to stretch our legs and immediately cancelling my flight, forgetting to call for a bus to shuttle all the passengers to the destination airport for 2 hours, a 2-hour bus ride, and missing my connecting flight, the United Airline employee refused to give me a hotel voucher. It was 3 a.m. and she told me, I'm sure someone will give you a blanket. Damn, what did you do? It was a connecting flight from Chicago to Indiana to visit my parents. I went through security while on the phone with my mom about the situation. I'm sure anyone eavesdropping on that conversation would have had an earful. I ended up getting an Uber to drive me to South Bend in the middle of the night. I got there around 5 a.m. when I was supposed to get there around dinner time. I will never ever fly United again. You couldn't pay me to fly United. For real, not for $1 million. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for $1 million, but flying United is a hard pass for me. What is the most disrespectful someone has done to you? Leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel if you wanna see more same videos.